Hello, we are the Wednesday 11 AM mountain biking group, and in this video, we'll be reflecting on our experiences in the Active Leadership Unit through a series of recreational activities and group challenges. These activities helped us explore real-world applications of leadership and teamwork concepts we learned in class. Throughout the presentation, we'll draw connections between theory and practice as we analyze how our group functioned under different circumstances. This includes how we communicated, planned, and made decisions. We will cover 6 areas in this presentation. First, a description of the tasks and the challenges we face, an awareness of team development and group growth, our approach to planning and risk management, reflections on leadership styles and attributes, group dynamics and individual self-awareness, and finally, a summary of our group's development over the semester. At the end of the video, we aim to demonstrate how the theoretical aspects of leadership were reflected in our team's journey, and how we develop not only as individuals, but as a cohesive, functioning group.
Theory-based content supported by team-building activities throughout the semester has been fundamental to the development and success of our group. Beyond simply implementing teams within coursework, our instructors facilitated a learning environment that allowed us to experience and gain a deeper understanding of group dynamics, in particular, the process of team formation and interactions. Our growth as a team can be understood through Tuckman's model of group development. It is centered around 5 key stages that a group progresses through to become a high-performing, effective team that utilizes shared leadership to achieve a common goal.
In accordance with Tuckman's theory of group development, forming is the first stage. During our first activity, the landmines activity, our group underwent many ideas that are associated with this stage. We started to begin establishing goals with one another, and we required a lot of assistance from our mentors to begin communication due to uncertainty of our places within the group. Most people had their arms tucked and a less open body position, and we were more tentative to join in with conversations with one another. Moving on from the forming stage, we now progress into the storming stage. This is the second stage of Tuckman's theory of development, and this stage is more associated with our, what I like to call the checkers task of the group. This stage is when extroverted people arise to become leaders of the group and they are seen to be leading the group. However, this stage is also known for interpersonal conflict with the group. We may have conflicting opinions, ideas, or ways to go about the task. And this is seen during our activity where the group is stumped with how we should progress and how we should go about moving on to our next stage. The third stage of Tuckman's theory of development is the norming stage. During this stage, groups tend to seem more cohesive and have more of an established norms that they go through as a group. Those extroverted leaders seen in the storming stage, while still there, have less of an impact on the decisions of the group. And what I mean by this is it becomes more of a group decision, not a leader-made decision. And so, for example, during the bridge building task, our group, instead of following the ideas of one person, communicated with one another, criticized ideas in a positive manner, and we were able to formulate one idea that we were happy with and got the entire group to work on. This was more cohesive than, again, from our forming stage where it was one person or 2 people deciding how they wanted to speak up, or in the storming stage where conflicts started arising because people who were speaking up were having issues. And this is significance because this is where our group started to become effective and efficient with our ability to cooperate and proceed with our ideas.
As we continued to progress through the stages of group development and arrived at the performing stage, the culmination of all our efforts was finally realized during the amazing race at the end of the semester. We began the race with confidence in each other and our ability to complete any task as long as we worked as a team. As each clue was revealed, we'd huddle together to discuss what they could potentially mean, and everyone's input was valued. We moved as a team, with no one being left behind, and were highly determined to complete the amazing race. Although we were unable to finish in time, our team was extremely proud of what we had accomplished together. The final and most integral stage of Tuckman's model is adjourning. In our last tutorial, we reflected upon our experience as a team and the various challenges and conflicts we had to overcome. During the activity, we discussed what we liked and lacked, as well as our proudest moment, which was during our mock amazing race. We were able to finally come together as a team to work effectively and ultimately achieve over 300 points. Reflecting back on this moment and others provided us with a sense of closure as we knew our group was ultimately going to disband, but everything we learned would guide us to become stronger leaders in the future.
During one tutorial, we completed the tunnel ball challenge, in which we had to get a ping pong ball through PVC piping from one side of the room to a cup on the other side. Given we had a limited number of pipes, we had to work as an effective team to ensure the ball didn't drop. We were competing against 2 other teams. Another challenge we had to complete was the Amazing Race. This activity required us to complete 6 timed tasks across different locations, earning points along the way. We had 1 hour, so effective planning was essential. We used action planning by assigning tasks and deciding how to move the ball through the pipes, ensuring everyone knew their role and stayed focused on the task. It was also greatly used in the Spiderweb challenge, where we had to get through the holes to earn points. Action planning was incorporated when we decided to lift our lighter members through the harder, higher holes, using each person's strengths for the best outcome. Piping planning was implemented by discussing how to slow down the ball for better pipe alignment, and after our first failed attempt, identifying improvements. For example, we initially struggled with the height of the pipes, but on our second attempt we lowered all pipes simultaneously to easily drop the ball into the cup, an adaptation that allowed us to win the second attempt.
Similarly, used in the Spiderweb challenge, where we agreed for the more athletic individuals to do the harder holes during the Spiderweb challenge, and if it didn't work, then we will reset and only complete the easy ones just to earn points. Safety and risk management were considered from the beginning of our planning. For example, when approaching physical demanding tasks like the Spiderweb challenge, we decided to only lift the smaller individuals to decrease the risk of injury. The long-term goal was to focus on points rather than completing individual tasks, which worked. We ended with 300 points in 1 hour. This shows how strong group planning, shared decision-making, and clear communication led to a successful outcome. We worked to maintain group cohesion by supporting each other throughout, assigning roles based on individual strengths, and agreeing to resolve any disagreements through calm discussion. After the activity, we reflected as a team on what worked well and what could be improved. Effective planning is essential for a team to work efficiently. Planning ensures the group is focused on the task, making sure the group's effort isn't wasted on tasks that aren't goal-oriented. Planning creates structure within the team by allocating roles, creating responsibilities, and holding members accountable for their contribution to the team.
One of the challenges our group undertook was getting everyone on their bikes to cross the line at the exact same time. As this turned out to be a pretty challenging task, using inspirational motivation, a subcomponent of transformational leadership, proved vital. Being enthusiastic and providing encouragement among team members helped sustain motivation across the group. Before embarking on the task, we discussed amongst ourselves to come up with the best possible solution, where everyone was encouraged to contribute their ideas, making sure to reiterate that no idea is a bad idea. This was an example of intellectual stimulation, another subcomponent of transformational leadership. Finally, individualized consideration was displayed when realizing that the team member with the least experience on a bike should get to set the pace of the entire group, something we implemented as part of our troubleshooting process.
The first one being laissez-faire leadership. This style is marked by a lack of leadership. The leader is passive, avoids involvement, and often withdraws from responsibilities. They don't give direction, feedback, or support, which can leave team members confused and uncertain about their roles. This often leads to poor performance, lack of accountability, and even conflict within the group due to the absence of structure or guidance. This leadership style was not utilized in our activities. Lastly, there's transformational leadership, which is arguably the most effective. Transformational leaders inspire and motivate their team to exceed expectations and work towards shared goals. They lead with vision, enthusiasm, and integrity, encouraging personal and team growth. This style creates strong trust, drives high performance, and fosters long-term engagement by appealing to a sense of purpose and meaning in the work. This leadership style was implemented within our group a lot, giving us the best opportunity to complete our activities and achieve our goals.
Leadership isn't always about holding a title or being the loudest voice. It's about stepping up when needed, offering direction, and supporting the team. In group setting like us, leadership often comes from those who contribute clarity, motivation, a solution when things get tough. Some of the most important leadership qualities include strong communication, accountability, adaptability, and empathy. A great leader listens, encourages participation, stays calm under pressure, and helps guide the group forward, especially during uncertain moments. A great example of this happened during a group activity we did at team building game. We had 2 lines of 5 people on opposite sides. The challenge was to swap all members from one side to another, but the catch was that people could only move if there was a free space between them. At first, it felt chaotic. We were all trying different things, getting stuck, and not really making progress. And one of the group members stepped up. Without being asked, they observed the situation and calmly started directing us, suggesting moves, pointing out patterns, and encouraging us to think a few steps ahead. What could have taken ages suddenly became smooth. The person didn't take over, they just offered guidance when we needed it most. It was a perfect example of how leaderships can emerge naturally, especially in problem-solving situations. This experience reflected the kind of leadership we saw through the project. It wasn't just one person leading the entire game, it shifted based on who had the right strengths for the moment. That flexible, shared leadership approach helped us stay organized, creative, and supportive of each other. In the end, leadership in a team is less about control and more about contribution. It's about helping the group stay focused, motivated, and connected. And that's what truly drives success.
What's the group dynamics? A powerful and essential concept in the both personal and professional life. Group dynamics refers to the way people interact, communicate, and work together in a group setting. Whether we read it or not, we are a part of many groups every day, in classrooms, teams, workplaces, and even in families. The way we behave in these groups can significantly impact how successful or effective the group becomes. Let's begin with the first point, communication as the foundation. Just like a building needs a strong base, a group needs solid communication to function well. Without it, even the smartest or most talented individuals can fail to collaborate. Effective communication means clearly expressing ideas, sharing thoughts honestly, and ensuring everyone understands what's going on. It prevents confusion, avoids conflicts, and creates a smooth flow of work. Moving to the second point, active listening and feedback. This is often overlooked but incredibly important. It's not just about speaking, it's also about listening carefully to others. When group members feel heard and respected, they are more likely to contribute their best. Giving positive, constructive feedback helps others grow, and receiving it with an open mind helps us to grow. Let's consider a general observation. In the image, the tutor observes from a distance while the group interacts freely. This highlights effective group dynamics where leadership supports without controlling. It encourages independence, communication, and teamwork. And at last, to sum up, understanding and improving group dynamics through strong communication, active listening, and mutual respect can make any team more productive and enjoyable to be a part of.
Over the past semester, the group has developed into a highly effective and cohesive team. Our group has reflected the stages of Tuckman's model of group development. Early on, we experienced some uncertainty around our group roles and communication. This stage reflects the forming stage, where our members were polite and quiet with unclear roles and expectations of each other. This is evident by our areas of miscommunication in the first group task, where we had to work together without speaking to find a route through the maze, compared to our final task of the amazing race. As our group progressed, we entered the storming stage, where group members push boundaries and tensions around leadership and responsibilities emerge. In our group's case, there weren't any overt conflicts or disagreements. However, there were tensions between possible leaders and responsibilities, as shown in our task to get the items across the river. We then proceed to enter the norming stage of Tuckman's model. This is where our group began to resolve differences and roles and rules were clarified. This stage is where the natural roles of members became clear and we began to recognize each other's strengths and weaknesses. This was clear in the class when we had to get a marble through the pipes together as a team. Our group leaders became clear as well as other members' strengths. Forming is the stage in Tuckman's model of group development where the group becomes cohesive and high-functioning. This was apparent in our group, as members became autonomous, interdependent, and were able to focus on achieving goals as a collective. This stage of our group was clear in the amazing race, where we worked together effectively to achieve our goals, as well as having clear group roles and norms. Although the adjourning stage was added later in 1977, it is the stage where the group disbands and reflects on its achievements. This is the stage the group is currently in, as we are reflecting on our journey together and have disbanded. Overall, this semester, our group has developed to become a functioning group which has been able to complete challenges and work together effectively.
Thank you for listening to our video. We hope you enjoyed our reflection and gained insight into our leadership journey.